So I finally watched Django Unchained. It was okay. I was not a huge fan of this movie. I thought there was some cool elements to it, but just not a fan. It's a Quentin Tarantino film, a movie about racism by a white man, and I think they handle some of it well. Other parts, not so much. The N word is used the most in this movie. Like, honestly, I don't even remember cuss words in this movie, like shit or fuck. I remember the N word being the thing that was used the most. Um, it just used so much, and I get that it's supposed to be a time period of racism, and if you downplay that, that's even worse. But man, it was a bit crazy. Like even the so-called good guy has to use the N word to like be undercover so they can get their plan through. This movie had been on streaming services before. I had added it to my list, but then it would get take off so quick. So finally, I saw it on something, and I was like, "Fuck it, let's watch it." Um, this movie's almost 3 hours long, but it probably took me 4 hours to watch it. I think it was mainly because I got a little bit bored at times, and because this app had like egregiously long ad breaks. Um, so anyway, um, this movie is about a slave who gets freed by this man who is a bounty hunter, and he frees him because he doesn't know what his targets look like. So he needs this guy that he knows what the targets look like. Um, so he decides to give him his freedom, but say that he has to help him. They work together. He gives him money, and Django ends up becoming a bounty hunter with him. So then they kill more and more people. There's some even like a little bit of like I don't know what you call it montage of them killing people. Um, and it just makes Django colder and colder. But at the same time, the white guy is becoming a little bit weaker. Leonardo DiCaprio's character is introduced an hour into the film, which isn't too bad for how long this movie is. And then Samuel L. Jackson's character, who I thought would have a bigger part, is introduced an hour and 27 minutes in. Still not too bad, but pretty late. Walton Goggins is also in this movie, which I did not expect. Um, but he's only got like two or three scenes. He's mentioned a few times in the movie, but he has like one argument with Django where he's being a racist shithole, and then he kind of disappears for like a good 40 minutes, and then he comes in, fights for a little bit, survives, comes in, threatens Django, but doesn't get to do anything to him. Then he goes to the funeral to mourn, and Django kills him. And it leads to this line that it's fine. I don't get how it works. Uh, it's not like I don't feel like he had to like spell his name for Walton Goggins' character. He's like a side character, and Walton Goggins calls him Django, and he's like the D silent hillbilly and kills him. Cool, but like, why would he think it was said like that? We even had a scene earlier in the movie where he says that the D is silent, and this one random white guy who's a side character who never shows up again, if I believe, that's like, oh, I know it's said Django. Um, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is killed by a white guy who, yes, he's non racist, but man, I feel like it should have been Django that killed him. Um, then he gets killed too. Django gets briefly captured, and um, he's able to talk his way out of it. We have a brief cameo from Quentin Tarantino. Django kills him too. I'm just not a fan of this movie. I don't really have any passion when talking about this movie like other movies. Like, I really enjoyed movies like Sinners, but not a fan of this movie. Uh, the blood also doesn't really look good in this movie. It looks kind of fake. They do pay tribute to old westerns, like some of the characters go flying when they get shot, which was something that happened in westerns. I used to watch westerns as a kid, like Bonanza and shit. But yeah, I was not a fan of this movie. The movie ends with Django killing all the characters, including Samuel L. Jackson, and him and his wife have a happy ending. But they're on the run. because he's a black guy that killed a bunch of white people. Um, it's fine. I don't get how it got as big as it did though. And it's crazy to think that this movie's so well liked, and only 2 years later, Jamie Lee Fox would do Amazing Spider-Man 2, which people hated. I personally love it, but yeah, it's fine. I don't have much to talk about for this movie as long as it is. I think it's just a little bit too long because there's some really good long movies, but yeah, not a fan.